Tuesday, December 19th, year 1820. John Bell's health had collapsed and he fell into a coma. The next day, he tragically passed away with his family surrounding him. Some hauntings fade away with time, but others refuse to die. This is a story whispered around campfires, written in history books, and feared for over 200 years. A haunting so powerful it tormented a family, shook a community, and terrified even a future president. This is not a legend. This is the terrifying true story of the Bell Witch. The year was 1817. In the quiet farmland of Robertson County, Tennessee, John Bell and his family lived a peaceful life. They owned a large farm, growing corn and raising livestock. John, his wife Lucy, and their children were well respected in the community. But as history has shown, evil doesn't always strike the wicked. Sometimes it comes for the innocent. One evening, John Bell noticed something strange in his cornfield. A creepy animal, unlike anything he had ever seen. Its body resembled a dog, but its head was shaped like a rabbit. John raised his gun and fired, but the creature vanished, disappearing into the shadows without a trace. That was the beginning. Soon after, the family began hearing strange noises at night, knocks against the wooden walls, clawing at the doors, a sound like chains dragging across the floorboards. At first, they thought it might be animals outside, but then the noises came from inside the house. John Bell knew something unnatural had invaded his home. Among all the Bell children, one was targeted the most: young Betsy. At night, she would scream as invisible hands slapped her face, leaving red welts across her cheeks. Her hair was pulled with such force that it left bruises on her scalp. Neighbors came to witness it for themselves, and many saw the girl being tormented by an unseen force. Betsy's suffering convinced the Bells they were dealing with something beyond the natural world, something that wanted more than fear. It wanted destruction. The entity grew stronger, and soon it spoke. At first, faint whispers echoed through the house, like a voice carried on the wind. But the whispers grew clearer, until one night, everyone heard it. The voice claimed to be Kate Batts, a local woman who had once quarreled with John Bell. According to legend, John had cheated her in a land deal. Whether it was truly her spirit or something far darker, the entity announced its mission clearly. "I am the witch, and I have come to kill John Bell." The spirit seemed to know everything. It would repeat sermons being preached in local churches miles away, word for word, at the very same time they were being given. It mocked neighbors by revealing their darkest secrets. It recited prayers, sang hymns, and then twisted them into mocking laughter. Even those who came to the Bell home as skeptics left shaken. Many claimed to hear the witch's chilling voice for themselves, cackling from the dark corners of the cabin. The story of the Bell, which spread far beyond Tennessee. In 1819, Andre Jackson, military hero and future president of the United States, traveled to the Bell farm with a group of soldiers. As they approached in their wagon, the wheels suddenly froze in place. The horses strained, but the wagon would not budge. Jackson cursed and ordered the men to push, but it was useless. Then, a ghostly female voice rang out. "Go on, General. You may pass now." The wagon rolled forward as if nothing had been wrong. That night, Jackson's men stayed in the Bell home. One soldier mocked the witch, boasting that he wasn't afraid. Moments later, he let out a scream. His body was whipped and flung across the floor by an unseen force. Jackson immediately declared, "I would rather fight the entire British army than spend another night with the Bell Witch." He left by morning. By 1820, John Bell's health declined. His throat swelled unnaturally, leaving him barely able to eat or speak. One morning, he was found unconscious in bed. Beside him was a vial of strange black liquid. No one knew what it was. The witch's voice filled the room with glee. "I gave old Jack a big dose of that last night and fixed him." John Bell died shortly after. At his funeral, while family and neighbors mourned, The witch mocked them, all singing drunken songs and laughing loudly over his grave. The entity had completed its mission. After John Bell's death, the activity slowed. Some believed the witch was gone forever. But in 1828, 7 years later, the entity returned. This time it visited John Bell Jr. for several weeks, speaking about religion, life, and the mysteries of the afterlife. Then, just as suddenly as it came, it vanished again, promising to return in 107 years. That would have been 1935. But if it did return, no one recorded it, or perhaps no one survived to tell the tale. Today, the Bell family farm is long gone, but one place remains, the Bell Witch Cave. Near the old property, visitors claim to hear strange whispers in the darkness, see glowing orbs, and feel icy hands brush against their skin. Some leave gifts or offerings, hoping to keep the witch at peace, but others say she never rests, that her spirit lingers still, waiting, watching, laughing in the shadows. The Bell Witch haunting remains one of the most terrifying stories in American history. Was it truly the ghost of Kate Batts, or something much older, much darker, feeding on fear and suffering? One thing is certain: once you hear the voice of the Bell Witch, you'll never forget it.